It wasn't until high school when my class had a little like art sale, and that was the first time I ever sold something. So
Mm.
once I experienced that, it was exciting to be sold out so quick and to see that there was a want, there was an excitement for my art, and that wow, I can get money from this, and wow, people want this. They want what I'm giving them.
Hey everyone, welcome to Venture Out, a podcast series from EntrepreNorth that shares the brave stories of Northerners who are inspiring innovation and community well-being through business. I'm your host, Zena Cowan.
We have fires across the tundra. We are ice of a million years. Our mothers, our fathers hold us. We stand together.
We are back with another beautiful guest on the podcast, somebody who I love and who I'm really excited to introduce you to because they're super unique and they're doing really important work. Today, I'm talking to Siku Rojas, who is a non-binary Inuk artist and entrepreneur living in Iqaluit, Nunavut. Through their business and their creative practice, which is called Yurak, Siku works as a painter, a printmaker, an illustrator, a jeweler, and a learning tattooist. Their art explores themes of queerness and Inuit culture with powerful depictions of gender fluidity and the lived experiences of being a mixed race Indigenous youth. I first met Siku when they were a member of the EntrepreNorth Digital Creatives cohort. And I think about 6 months after that program wrapped, Siku made the bold leap into becoming a full-time artist and business owner, which we were all super excited about. In this episode, we talk about family, collective healing, and breaking molds, both in art and in business. So let's just dive into it because Siku is the best.
So my name is Siku Rojas. I'm from Iqaluit, Nunavut. As an artist, I go by Yurak, and that is my business name. And I have family based in Iqaluit. That is where my mother, my nana, is from. But I've lived in Iqaluit my whole life. And my father is Quechuan, so I also have family in Ecuador.
Thanks for sharing that, Siku. I know that your family is incredibly important to you and really influences how you show up in the world, especially as an artist. You come from two very strong parents and you have a number of siblings who are all in their own way doing amazing things. I want to give a shout out to your sister, Papatsi, who was in the EntrepreNorth fashion cohort a couple of years ago. And yeah, just overall, it seems that your family embodies a really beautiful blend of talents and cultures. So tell me a little more about that.
So my mother, my nana, is her name's Alukikutek, and she's originally from Iqaluit. I think all of my siblings, all of my family really stems from my Itu, my grandfather. He has such a big personality that it really trickles down to everyone who's been interacting with him. um, he's just a very loud talker. He's an actor as well, so he's very like has big emotions and has a fun character. Like I could draw him. We're very passionate people. But I have an older sibling, Jukipa, an older sister, Papatsi, older brother, Kunuk, then I'm in there, and then my youngest brother, Igima. And so I'd say we're all very creative. My younger brother, he's creative, but he's definitely like trying to be a doctor right now. So he's different compared to me and my older siblings.
I mean, we need those creative doctors. And the sense I get just from following you on social media and knowing Papatsi, and obviously being a huge fan of your mom's, is that as kids, you all have that support and space within your family to be yourselves and to follow whatever creative passion it is that you want to be following.
Yes, I would say like my family is the biggest support I have for sure. We're such a close-knit big family and we really try to watch each other and like like my family, my aunts in particular are like my soundboard when it comes to my business and just creating and having good quality. Like I find we keep each other in check and we make sure we're doing good jobs because we really care about the work we do.
Good aunties are the best. And I also think we need to shine a spotlight on your mom, Aluki Kotiak, who, in addition to being a parent, is a politician and the former president of Nunavut Tangavik Incorporated, and is also a standing member of the United Nations Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues. So, big icon energy and leader for Inuit. And I can imagine her bringing that strength and independence into the home and into her parenting. Like, come on, we love Aluki.
I do especially. But I think wow, she's just always been very strong. I think that's like a really good foundation for any child to have. But she's been very strong my whole life and very determined to make me proud to be Inuk. She's very she's always done that my whole life to remind me and to really keep me informed about current events that affect Inuit and how it affects Inuit. And I think with that like love for Inuit, she really made us and my siblings like really care about what is going on in community and to find something we love and to still do that and know that it will trickle down into everything else in life.
I mean, that is truly a gift and a privilege. And just hearing you share that makes me think about what a difference it makes to come from parents and to come from a family that uplifts you and creates space for you to learn and feel safe and supported on your journey. And obviously, aunties play a big role in that too.
Yeah, it's great to have a really supportive family. I don't think it wouldn't have been this easy to go into art without knowing that I have a strong family that's there to help me when I fall. I think that's what made me excited to do it.
Yeah, and to come from a family of artists too, where there is that lived experience and that knowledge sharing. Um, you talk about your mom and her family coming from Iqaluit, but you've spent your life in Iqaluit. And I get the sense just from looking at your work that where you come from plays a big part in your practice and in your messaging and your voice. So, can you tell me a little bit about where you come from, especially for the listener who might not know much about Iqaluit?
It's interesting always to grow up wherever you are and to think about how that affects you as a person because I was born in Ottawa. My family did live there for a moment, but I grew up my whole life in Iqaluit. And I often did go to visit Iqaluit and family there and go there for the summers. But really, Iqaluit is where I was raised and able to like grow as a person and kind of experience the world from here. because it's such a strange mixture of almost huge city to still very small town, and it's very mixed between Inuit and non-Inuit, and there's a lot of beautiful cultures that are coming up here, moving here, and it's a very nice, I find it's a nice mixing pot um, to kind of experience different people, different vibes. Or it's still Nunavut, it's still the north, and it's Inuit homeland, but there's like some form of difference where uh it just, I don't know. I feel like I'm very proud to have grown up here, and I do love here. Specifically, I grew up a lot in Apex in Nyakungo, which is a smaller part of Iqaluit, and for me that really helped me like feel safe having that small little area in town to grow up in, and really close to land, because I found I really was able to walk off into the hills whenever I wanted after school. So that was very helpful. But overall, I think, I don't know, how can I explain Iqaluit? I don't know. It's just it's beautiful.
So, Siku, when you think about your homeland, Iqaluit and Iqaluit as well, how would you say that those environments have influenced you as an artist?
Hmm. I find the color really influences my art, because I really enjoy the skies we have here, and I think it um I can really like pull a lot from what I've seen, and like the way the ice looks in a specific light and the way it shimmers. Like these are all things that people can't really depict in their art unless they see it. Um and the feeling, I think the feeling of different weather is really important, because like the crisp fresh air of like waking up in the morning and being outside and feeling the wind, and all of that ties into the feeling, I think, of my art.
Tell me about the journey that you took to get to where you are now as a full time artist.
I was named after Ida Kapik, who is a family member in Pang, and she was a very she's passed away, but she was a very beautiful artist who would do all these amazing prints of birds specifically. Um, and so I think that must have been where it started, because like from that name is where creativity came, because she was just an amazing artist, and I was very lucky to have got gotten one of her prints as a gift from my mother. um but there is where it begins. But then I myself, as Siku, also got my interest in art. I think it happened when people started to notice that I was putting in more effort and more detail into drawings than other children weren't. Like especially in elementary school, I do remember actively there's this self-portrait we were making. And of course everything looks like a potato, but I remember putting little pockets on my pants, and I was drawing out the eyelashes that I had, and my teachers was just amazed that a child would pay that much attention to these things. And so for me, that's kind of where it started. But it wasn't until high school when I had my class had a little like art sale, and that was the first time I ever sold something. So
Mm.
once I experienced that, it was exciting to be sold out so quick, and to see that there was an excitement for my art, and that it confirmed to me that wow, I can get money from this, and wow, people want this. They want what I'm giving them.
Yes, getting that sort of confirmation can really activate the next steps that you take. And I really admire your commitment to the process and to, developing your skills at a young age, because I'm not an artist, but I think anytime that you want to pursue something that is quite public, it takes a level of vulnerability and courage. And now you're a painter, a printmaker, an illustrator, an incredible jeweler. I'm going to make sure to drop your Instagram link in the show notes because your work is so gorgeous. And you're a tattoo artist. So, Siku, how did you become so multidisciplinary as an artist?
The best explanation is like Mario. Like I feel like I'm constantly trying to get to a new level. And I do want to experience everything I can and everything I want to. I recently, this year's, just been working with stained glass because that's something I just really wanted to do. I think it'd be super cool if I could get a studio where I could actually blow my own glass because I find doing the like all the old crafts that take so much time and effort, that really excites me. Like if I could, I would just build my own house and build all my clothes and do it all myself because that excites me.
I remember you showing up in person to some of our cohort gatherings wearing the coolest threads, and you'd made them, and they were like total one offs. But it was clear that you are very focused on details. I remember seeing this one canary yellow piece that you were wearing, and it had ruffles and etched art and sort of colorful hand-drawn illustrations on it, and then there were bows, and it was really remarkable to see, and I just think you can do anything.
I believe so too. I believe everyone can. And that's like I'm excited because I'm allowed to actually do that. A lot of people aren't in positions where they can follow their interests and live a sustainable life. So I'm very, very lucky to be able to just really do whatever I want.
Well, and on that note of living a sustainable life, what brought you to the point where you had the confidence and conviction to say, I'm going to quit my day job? I think you were working at the museum, right? And you said, I'm going to quit my day job and I'm going to give my art practice the full-time attention I think it deserves.
It's just, I guess it's an internal tipping point for anyone. Um, because I remember even before I didn't have anything on social media, I remember my older brother Kunuk was telling me that I should share my art on Instagram because I was not a social media person at all. But he really encouraged me to because he just thought that it'd be a good place to put everything. And if people see it, that's cool. If people don't, that's okay too. And so I did start that. That's how my Instagram started. Um, but then people wanted to buy things. And that's when it was like, oh, okay, I don't really I wasn't planning to sell anything. So now I feel unsure and I don't know what to do and I don't really know how to sell. But I do remember some of the first sales and that was really fun and it really like being on social media, it's really broadened my eyes to the huge Inuit population on social media. But when I decided to leave the museum, I think I just realized that I was there at the museum for too long. Like I was there for maybe 2 years and how the years went by so fast made me really worried that like I could just be here for however long and not actually do anything with my life the way I want to. So it was really just okay, like if we're gonna fail, fail now. Like let's just go through it and if it succeeds, well then that's just a bonus. And I think that's where I'm at the moment is I'm worrying about if this is a success, then like what do I do now?
So, fill us in. How have things been going operating as a full-time artist and business?
I think it's been very successful and very exciting. And just really cool. Like it's broadening what I can do and what people need. Like, it's so exciting to see what people are needing and what services I can provide. And it's kind of like, oh, okay, so next, like, I should learn how to metalsmith. Like, that's what you want? Okay, that's on my list of things I want to learn.
I'm on it. Give me like 2 years and I'll be back.
Yeah, so that's kind of what it's been like. Um, but I I appreciate how much people have been giving me opportunities, because none of this would have been happening if people didn't want to purchase my art, and if people didn't give me the opportunity to show my art or to teach it and to speak about it. So I appreciate being on this podcast, and I really appreciate everyone who's said yes to me throughout this whole year. Like, that's just been the biggest thing.
I mean, okay, I've got your Instagram page in front of me right now, and I'm seeing these drawings with deep greens and marigold tones, and you've got like leather pieces and really vibrant neon yellow beadwork, and there's purples and there's blues and there's these gorgeous animations. And yeah, I really feel like you've carved out an identifiable aesthetic for yourself. So I'm not surprised at all, Siku, to hear that you're having a blast every day just getting to do this full time. And I'm wondering how much of your work is you driving projects forward and how much of it now is commissioned projects from clients.
So I think that's one thing I'm actually struggling with at the moment. I'm trying to figure out a balance, but having time to experiment and actually work on things and my own projects to help me grow as an artist, rather than just completing tasks of commissions, because I love commissions very much and I love working with other artists and providing a visual for other forms of art. I think that's really fun. But at some point I am just doing that, and I'm not actually growing what my interests are or my aesthetic is. And so it's learning the balance of what I actually want to take on, because another thing is I can't take on everything, and so I definitely do have to be selective of the people I want to work with and what I can provide.
Do you have selection criteria when those requests come in? I mean, at the end of the day, obviously, you have bills to pay, but I would imagine you're getting requests from lots of different potential clients, like the government of Nunavut on one hand, and then another artist who is wanting you to do an indie collaboration. So, how do you assess what's coming through in your emails?
It's a very hard balance. I prefer choosing the smaller indie commissions, because I just think there's more room and more, and it's more meaningful to me to be able to light an individual's life over a corporation's life. Like, it doesn't feel as connected. So definitely smaller commissions. I've had people ask me to create things for like a birthday present, and that to me is super thoughtful and loving. Um, but I think a criteria also is if it excites me and we can come to a meeting ground of their idea and something that is still a flare of me. At the moment, I have big hopes to be working on a children's book. Like, children, the imagination is so broad, it's so amazing. So you could add so much into a piece, and that's something that excites me.
I love that vision of doing a children's book because it's very different today from what it was like when I was growing up. Maybe you too, Siku, you're younger than I am, but today there are so many Inuit and Indigenous authors who are writing books for children, and these are the stories that the children get to grow up with and really see themselves represented from an early age. And I love when there are collaborations between authors and artists. Something I've noticed about you is that you make an effort to build community through your art, and you make an effort to connect with other young Inuit who are developing their craft. Also, the queer community. It seems to be a part of your practice is building that space and those safe connections. So, yeah, curious if you can reflect on that a little bit.
I do hope that youth and artists know that they can talk with me. I find when I do talks like this or when I do teach workshops about printmaking, I do really try my best to create a safe space and to remind people that I am just a regular person living here who wants to hang out. Like I do want to go do crafts with other people and discussing. Even I have a lot of friends who are just starting out their beading store or whatnot, and to discuss on pricing together is super helpful.
Okay, that's interesting. So, when you're mentioning the types of supports and conversations you're interested in having with others, I think there is a connection to your business and what it looks like for you to be a professional artist. And I remember during the digital creatives cohort that you were a part of, um, one of the conversations that kept coming up with the group was, everybody's in this entrepreneurship program, but no one felt super comfortable identifying as an entrepreneur. You were all like, no, I'm an artist. Don't call me a business owner. And I thought that was interesting. So I'm curious to hear a little bit from you about what that relationship is, what that tension is between being an artist and also being an entrepreneur, i.e., being your own boss and bringing in an income.
It's a struggle. and an entrepreneur feels so limiting. Does that make sense? Artists, I don't think any, like, even Inuktitut, I don't think there's a word particularly for artists, like, because it's so
Mm.
vast thing, the idea of it. And that's the biggest part about my business and about my art is I don't want anything to contain what I can do. I want to be able to experience the whole world and to do everything I want to do in life.
Yeah, I understand that. And one of the things that I find most inspiring about you is this desire to break out of the molds and to create a life and identity for yourself that is really rooted in your truth. And I think that's probably what other people see when they look at you doing your thing. It's like, here's somebody who is building a sustainable livelihood around their art and around the value that they're creating. And that looks exciting. And I think what you're doing is also seeing where there is a gap and where there is a need and having that conviction to fill it with your talents and your gifts and skills. And even if you don't want to call yourself an entrepreneur, I think that is inherently an entrepreneurial mindset. Like that's the vibe that you're bringing.
Yes, and at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what you call me as long as you can see what I'm doing and still get the same idea.
Hmm. And I can imagine you've encountered some challenges in this business that you're creating, this career for yourself. Pricing is probably one of them. I feel like pricing is especially hard for artists. So, yeah, tell me about some of the major hurdles that you've encountered so far.
Yeah. Ooh, I think, well, I feel like I've learned now that I should be preparing by the end of August for more craft fairs because craft fairs happen in the winter more of the times than in the
Right.
summer. So that's something nice that I've experienced that I feel more aware about. But with pricing, I don't ever think I'm going to find a way not to struggle with it. Like it will always be hard. And I think that's okay. I've come to terms with that. Um, Even though I feel the emotion of pricing, I am getting better at still valuing myself in a proper way that my emotions won't affect the end price as hard as in the beginning. I'm always trying to remember the customer. Like, oh, even though I like this, I know customers prefer this. I'm still going to do it in this way, but maybe I'll have a few of these extra things that will cater to a customer because I can't be something that just creates for the public, but I do want to keep them in mind and I do want to give them the options. I think options are really important when it comes to any selling or business. Um, and I think my hardest stuff, I think we've had a conversation about this, but it's contracts. Getting a good solid contract is important and it's still stressful for me. I'm always learning new things of what I should expect from a client who's coming to me and what they should expect from me and how I want to word it in a nice format. I've recently made a Google form to fill out for tattoos, which has been really helpful. And
Oh,
it's
that's a
fun.
great idea.
Yeah, because then I don't have to speak with everyone individually, even though I appreciate that and I do want that connection, especially if we're going to talk about Inuit tattoos in depth. But when there's a big gust of people who want tattoos, it's nice to just have all the details in one solid place.
Oh, yeah. Having those systems and processes in place that allow you to save time, be more efficient, be more organized, they really make all the difference. And those are just things that you learn as your work develops. But I don't want to miss this opportunity to ask you about your tattooing siku, how you approach it, how you developed that skill, and how it fits into your suite of offerings.
So I believe it's been maybe 2 years now that I've been a full-time tattoo artist. I learned back in August 2 years ago, I'm pretty sure, by Zorga Kaunuk. So I learned from Zorga. She her family's originally from Iqaluit actually, so that's nice, that relation. But she lives in Ottawa, so she flew up to Iqaluit to teach a 2 week program of tattooing. And it was very funny because when I applied, I thought we were going to like talk about the theoretical and the historical. I didn't at all realize we were actually going to be tattooing people. So it was very funny for me to then find out first week we're talking, we're getting to know each other, but then the second week it's all just actual practice and on people. So it was nice to know like the whole process of it from like beginning to end and even getting to meet someone as a client. So now, as a tattooist, I still do remind people that I am a beginner tattooist. Like, it's a lifelong practice of learning, and there's a lot more tricks I can learn throughout the years. And actually, I've learned a lot from Sarah Waylandlund and Holly Nordlum and Aksanik Deer when I went to tattooing gathering in Ulahaktuk. That was really amazing. But I do Inuit tattoos is what I say. You might know them as traditional tattoos or tunniit or kakini, but I personally use the word Inuit tattoos because it's very clear that it's for Inuit and it doesn't really put a distinction between traditional and non-traditional. Though it's
Mm.
important to remember that there are specific placements and designs that are of our ancestors, but I don't personally like the word traditional just because I find the southern use of it is constantly used to keep Inuit in a hold of history that isn't true. We are modern people. We are living in this world with you. And so personally, I don't like to use it, but it's known as many different names. I do faces, and I have done thighs, and I have done arms and fingers, but I find my faces are my favorite. I think the chin and the forehead are my favorite places to tattoo.
I love that. And just hearing you describe the process and this being a journey that is going to be lifelong for you. I'm wondering if you can describe for those of us who are less familiar with the tattooing process. Can you describe what it looks like to develop and create line work, say on somebody's face? Because I've seen some of your Inuit tattooing, Siku, and it's just beautiful.
Well, I think it's helpful that I already have like an artistic side, but during our tattooing program, we actually spent a lot of time just practicing on each other, on just drawing lines constantly, and it's about getting the right placement, and it's about having, like a steady hand, and I'm always trying to think about the best way the design will suit someone's face, because everyone's very different as well. So you have to spend the time and really take in someone's face and suit it to their features. And a lot of it's also like a give and take between you and the client who's getting tattooed, because of course they have their own image and what their hopes are. And then it's you who knows what's possible and what we can get to together. So I'm going to try my best to get that good balance.
That process sounds very collaborative, and I'm hearing a lot of reciprocity in there too. I want to know more about that.
Back in the day, I know often the tattoo artists were within your family. So it's nowadays that's the difference, is that a stranger is usually tattooing you rather than your close family member. So there's that difference, and you want to make that change as comfortable as possible. Um, but I also know that back in the day, the tattooists would actually often come up with the design themselves. It wasn't the client. So nowadays, do people do show up with a drawing already drawn out, and I'm very interested and cool with putting it on. But I do appreciate the once in a while people who are just like, give give me what you can give me, and that's so exciting, because we can really think about like the history of where their family's from and what designs are there, and think about different placements, and it's a fun collaboration together. So I love them both. It's just a different feel.
Siku, I want to ask you a couple of last questions that are a little bit more broad, beyond just your practice. I want to know your perspectives on Inuit entrepreneurship in Nunavut. And you've talked about this quite a bit with your business, but curious in other spaces, how are you seeing Inuit entrepreneurs sharing or revitalizing their practices and Inuit knowledge through business?
Well, I think there's a lot of entrepreneurs, I will say, within Iqaluit and within Nunavut that are doing really amazing things. And I think I was actually just talking about it today a little bit, about how um oftentimes we don't understand how either our community is functioning or like our government systems are functioning. And so often we don't know where we can get support or where we can put complaints in for bettering community. And because of that confusion, sometimes we're getting angry at the like wrong organization, or we're putting our critiques to the wrong area. But in that, on the other side of that, people are becoming entrepreneurs because they are trying to fill in the spaces that organizations we already have aren't filling. There's really brilliant individuals who are taking in their own hands a lot of work to be able to better our communities and support each other. And that's really beautiful.
And what connection do you see between healing and self-sufficiency and getting into entrepreneurship? Because those are the concepts, the words that are coming up for me with what you just shared.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a crazy circle, you know? Healing comes from taking back autonomy, but you need to heal enough to take back your autonomy, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's such a everything's so weaved together, and so, really, I think that's where all my emotions and art stems from, is just it's just trying to do my personal best, to help everyone on their own journey because I am as long as I'm pulling my own weight and hope helping in some way to inspire others and hopefully help one another, we can actually get to that point of healing because I think that's really what my dream is um so much healing can actually occur because I think that's the hardest thing right now is you see so much people who need that and it's just if only they could have someone who could take care of them enough for them to heal and then they can um take on the rest after that. We just need that extra support um is what I think.
And I think that healing you're talking about has to happen in all directions.
Yeah, and it's everywhere. Like, so that's why sometimes I don't really know what I'm doing as an artist and what real impact am I making to community. But for me, it's that real personal, internal hope and constant work to achieve just a happier life and a more healing life that hopefully ripples throughout because I know it's very hard to have a hard life and if we're able to support each other that'll just make things a lot better.
Yeah, and it takes a lot to inspire change and create it when you're living a really hard life. And I think there's still too much pressure that's put on the individual when the change in community really needs to be happening at a systems level. And I sometimes feel like there's a lot of emphasis put on Indigenous entrepreneurs or Indigenous youth to be these beacons of hope in life and these leaders when the struggle is real and everybody's on their own healing journey and just trying to figure it out.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not a leader. I never want to be. I think everyone as long as you're doing your best then everyone's kind of leading each other and I think that's what I'm more interested in. Like I've had people mention that I am like paving a way within modern art, but I find that really wrong. I find that wrong because the Inuit art has been forever and modern Inuit art that's been forever as well because everything we create is modern Inuit art. Like I hate that word. And so I don't see myself doing anything out of the ordinary. Actually, I see myself doing something super regular. Everyone's a creative. Everyone is wanting to do better for their community, and everyone's trying to take their own talents to support that.
You know, Siku, I see a lot of leadership in you, but I absolutely understand you wanting to push back on that title. And I think maybe some of it is pushing back on that singular concept of excellence And what I love is you describing that collective fabric of healing and beauty, and one where everybody is working together. And on that note, my last question for you is around the future of Nunavut and what you want to see. What is that future? Can you paint a picture of it for me?
Oh man. Oh, I don't even know. Like, I hope we could like just take up more space. I don't know how else to explain it, but really I just want Nunavut's communal confidence to just boost up like 10 more knots, because I don't know why. I mean, I do know why, but I just need us to get out of this hurt. I really do, because we are so capable as a peoples. Like, we are so um loving and brilliant, and I think we can really give the world so much amazing creations if we just can take up the space we need to support ourselves.
I told you, Siku is the best. And I definitely appreciate them pushing back on being labeled as a leader because of the pressure. But I will say that when I connected with Siku for this interview, and any time I've spent time with them, I've thought to myself, wow, if this is what the next generation is like, I have a lot of hope. The way that Siku operates, I find to be really inspiring, and I know that they are a source of light for other Inuit and queer young people and artists. So I can't wait to see what they do next. Absolutely check out Siku online, their website, which offers a full list of their services, and their portfolio is yurak-provides.com. And you can find them on Instagram too. Yurak is spelled Yurak. Venture Out's production team includes myself, Brandon Larock, and Jess Duncan. Our theme song is called Fires Across the Tundra, and it's by Denenday's Leela Gilday. You can find Venture Out on all your favorite podcast platforms. And if you like what you're hearing, subscribe and give us a rating. That makes a big difference. See you next time.
We are fires across